I think we should start. So I want to hear how some of your guys' runs have been going this last week. And I'll read Kate's first because she's putting it in chat. So it is good right now, just ramping back up slowly on the running. Run what feels good. Sometimes when I walk 5 steps, sometimes a couple minutes. Just running like a kid having fun. Keeping pace up because form is better. But if anything feels not right, back off. Still moving 4 to 8 miles a day. That's great. Wow. So there's a lot of things in there that I really like. Um, the running on what feels good. That's super important. And it's not trying to push too hard and do something that doesn't feel right. And then sometimes, sometimes you're gonna have to walk a little bit. Sometimes you're gonna run, and that's the way it goes. And running like a kid and having fun, because that's going to be your best form anyway. Because it's like when you're a kid and you watch children run, they run so effortlessly. And then somewhere, I don't know, we get older and we lose that. And so if you can visualize a child running, yeah, that's how the form actually looks better. So keeping your pace up a little bit is actually a good way to keep the form collapsing. So, let's see here. Still moving 4 to 8 miles a day. That's quite a bit. That's a lot. It's awesome. Great job, Kate. All right, who's next? All right.
Hi. This week I tried to run faster because I felt like I was running at a really comfortable pace and I've been doing the miles that we're supposed to do and it felt good and I was like, I want to try to run faster and it was really hard. I think I tried to run too fast, but yeah, so far it's going good, but yeah, if there's any tips on how to like pick up the pace a little bit without dying, I would love to hear.
For sure. So that's something I think we're going to definitely touch on today. I wanted to talk a little bit about strides, but I'm glad to hear that you picked up. So when you say you picked up, do you know approximately how much faster you picked up from like what your normal comfortable pace is?
I went like a minute per mile faster, which
A
felt
lot.
like a lot.
Yeah. A minute per mile faster would be almost like race pace, right?
Yeah, it was fast.
Yeah,
For
that is
me at
fast.
least. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people I know run that pace normally, but yeah, try to pick it up.
At some point, I want to know what your normal kind of comfortable pace is, and then I can help start coming up with some different plans for you for how fast you really should be running, or at
Yeah.
least what something that is reasonable and not killing yourself. So,
Yeah, I feel like really good running like 2.5, 3 miles at like 12 minutes and 10 seconds ish.
okay, cool. I should write some of this down. I'll get a spreadsheet and we'll do that later. All right. How's your ankle, Amanda?
Me? It's still puffy on the left side, but it was less stiff this morning than it was yesterday. So I really don't know what's wrong with it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I still keep walking every day, even though, like, I mean, like a pretty good distance, even though I can't really run because, like, I get pain when I run. So I don't know. Yeah, I feel like, could it be like your, like the arches or like your Achilles, like tendon? Oh, I'm like losing.
like you look like you're on an amusement park slide or something.
No, my whole lap, like my iPad's leaning against my laptop for work, so it just all kind of went downwards. Yeah, no, like I don't know, like I've never felt like anything like as painful by like the back part of your like kind of by where your Achilles tendon is, and I'm like, is that like, is it tendinitis? Like I don't even know. I need to get it checked out though, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can
So
connect you to some different people, but maybe after we're done here, we can stay on for a little longer. You can show me where exactly on your ankle it pain is. And
yeah, sounds good.
I'm not going to diagnose it, but I steer you in the right direction with that. Okay.
All right, thank you.
And then also, when you talk about pain when you're running, there's like stuff where it's chronic pain, or there's something where something just doesn't feel right today kind of pain. So which one is it?
It would be, I don't know, it would be more something doesn't feel right today, I think. And like whatever I did back in September to my ankle, like I did something, I feel like, and it just like aggravates, because there were like a few days until last week where it felt perfectly fine whenever I was running, but I noticed it more whenever I did one of the weekend where you run like as much as you can rather than breaking it up by like so many minutes and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know if that added extra strain, but it's been weird ever since then.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, I'm glad that you're icing, and then probably
yeah,
after sleeping, your foot was elevated up, and
yeah,
there's a lot less strain on your foot, and so that's probably why this morning it feels better. So maybe
yeah.
try
And
to
I've been elevating it on my couch cushions. It's not like the best work scenario, but because like I'm not at my desk, but I have like my foot up most of the day.
good.
Oops.
Well,
Yeah,
all
you're
right.
good.
Does
Thank
anybody
you.
else want to share how they're doing, how the runs are going? All right. So let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about strides. So, um, one thing that would be good for you guys to incorporate, and I'd like to see you try it this week, is to do 6 30-second strides, maybe somewhere in the middle of your run. So maybe if you're, after you've warmed up for a mile and you feel like your body's loose, and then if you have a watch that has a lap timer on it, um, you can look it up to see how to actually activate the lap counter on your watch. But my watch just has like a little button where it's the lap button, and when I push the lap button, it resets the screen, and then it's that way I know exactly how much my next lap time is um, going for. So I may have been running for like 6 or 7 minutes, and then I push the lap button, it goes back to 0, and then I can watch it go up to like 30 seconds. Okay. Then you push the lap button again, and then it sets the thing back up. So you can then run at normal pace for a minute. Okay. So maybe what I'll do is I'll write it down and I'll send it out to you guys. But I'd like you guys to try to do something where you pick up your pace. And I'm not saying sprint. That's not what we're trying to do here. Okay. But it's more along the lines of like what MJ had done earlier, where you might take your normal pace time and you might increase it by 1 minute or 1 minute 30-second pace faster than what you normally do. Okay. And you do it for only 30 seconds and then back off, bring it back down to conversational pace, or maybe even slower than conversational pace. Okay. And then catch your breath for about 60 seconds and then ramp it back up for another 30 seconds and just do that cycle 6 times. So if you need to count on your fingers, or if you can use your lap button on your watch, that's just a great way to see what happens there. If you do have it on a watch and you're tracking your heart rate and things like that, then you can actually see what happens to your body when you're doing these kinds of things. Because then your heart rate's going to be fairly stable for the first mile that you've been running. And then when you do these little strides, then you're going to see that, when I do this, my heart rate does go up by a bit, and then you'll see it come back down. And so just good so you know when you kind of stress yourself a little bit, stress your body, what's actually happening there. Okay. And then the thing about strides that's great is that they're not going to hurt you. Okay. This is not an all out sprint. Okay. So if you're sprinting as fast as you can, you could hurt yourself. And so the way it works is if you sprint for short distance for like 30 seconds, the likely of an injury is really low. Okay. Do your strides for 30 seconds. And then it just loosens up your body, helps you get moving faster. And then it feels really good too, because you're only doing it for 30 seconds. You're not doing it for like minutes or hours, right? This is something that's really, really short. And then you can say, oh, I can actually hit this pace that, was written down. And then you got a target that you can go after and say, can I hold it for just 30 seconds? And you ask yourself, you'll be running and you'll be going, like, looking at this thing, and you'll be like, oh, it's at 20 seconds. I feel like this is kind of fast. But then you're like, can I hold it for just 10 more seconds? Okay. And you'll be surprised. You probably will. All right. Questions around that?
Just to clarify, when you say stride, you're not talking about like the running stride, are you? Or is that what you're calling the interval?
Yeah, I'm just calling it a stride.
Okay, got it.
You run faster. I'm going to say anywhere from a minute to minute and a half faster than your normal conversational pace. Okay. All right. And I think that way you guys can start to recognize that you have a little bit of speed inside you that you haven't been really testing it yet. You've been just building up a base. So this whole time that we've been working together, it's been base building. Okay. I haven't been trying to get you guys to run really fast or anything, but it's just about really getting your body used to running again and then feeling good about that and making sure you're not injured and you're not hurting yourself, that kind of thing. And then once we start moving into some of these strides, then we'll start picking up a little bit of pace. But then, it's not something that I expect you to hold for the entire 5K by any means. We're not even close to getting ourselves to that spot yet. So it's just more about let's loosen up. Let's try to pick up a little pace, see how it feels. And then after you guys do that 6 by minute plus stride, I'd love to hear a little bit more about how that went. So you can email me and tell me or text me or let me know how it goes. Okay. I found it to be a lot of fun. They're a great way to just loosen up and get some speed going. All right. Okay. I have a question for you guys. And I probably will email this out to the group as well. So we're at week 7 now, and next week's going to be week 8. And then we do our virtual 5K on the 30th. And I'm curious whether or not you guys want to keep going. Do you guys want to stop? Is there something that you guys want to train for in addition, or is it just another 5K? I'd love to hear some of your guys' thoughts. Kathy, I saw a thumb go up. How about you? Share what's going on in your mind.
Okay. I mean, I just wanted to, you'd put out there about the trail running and building a base for that. And I'm a fan for that. So.
Okay.
Anyway, I hope you roll it into something else because this has gotten me out way more than I would normally. So I hope there's a, couch to 5K 2 or something.
Okay. Well, that's great. So I'm in the middle of a training cycle now. I just started one like this last week. So I've been just kind of doing a bunch of base building with you guys as well. And I registered for a marathon. It was supposed to be in June. It got pushed to pushed to August. I have no idea whether or not that's happening. And then I decided, you know what? I probably should just train up for it anyway. If there's a chance it's going to happen, then I'm going to go. I'm going to do it. Um, so my training cycle, I'm definitely moving forward with one. And then also the thing that I was thinking about was, this is was something that I did post in social media about, and that is building up a base for doing some other things out there. Um, I do have a really long trail hike that I'm gonna do later this summer, and it's like 14 days, which is something absurd because I've never done anything close to that. And it's like 180 kilometers. So it's a healthy thing, and I don't normally wear a backpack either. So I'm going to be under load, and when I trail run, I'm wearing like my hydration vest with and the hydration, you know, water bladder thing that's inside there, maybe at most 7 pounds. Okay, so I know I got to get myself stronger and be able to handle the load of weight on me while going. And I'm not going to run with a pack. So that's not what I'm trying to do. I will never run with a pack, a big backpack, right? I mean, that's way too much weight. I'm going to hurt myself, get injured for sure. Okay. But hiking and getting those muscles really strong and being able to handle the load of elevation or being on my feet for long periods of time, those are some of the things that I'm going to start training on, focusing on, in addition to the marathon running stuff that I'm doing. So what I could do is, if you guys are interested, we can set a couple of different things up. And if somebody wants to train for, let's see, I'm running a 10-mile race in October, says Laura. So, you know, I definitely can help put together some plan there for a specific race for running and help you, Laura, with that. And then also, if you guys are interested to just get stronger for trails and hikes and that kind of thing, I can put together some different training activities to build the strength up. And, you know, I'll be doing those as well. I'm already doing them, but I'll write down a specific thing of what to focus in on, how to build those muscles up stronger, and put a plan together for that. Okay. All right, MJ, would love to know how to get into trail running. That'd be awesome. Like, definitely, we can do some of those kinds of things too. So you can take your 5K stuff that you've been doing and shift it into trails. And we got to talk a little bit about the shoes and stuff like that too. So I don't run in hiking shoes ever. So I ditched my hiking shoes a few years ago after I found out that there was these thing called trail runners, and they're light. They feel like my running shoes. They just got a lot of traction on them, and they feel great. So some people don't, when they're hiking, they sometimes they feel like they need more ankle support, and I think the ankle support is great for probably if you have a backpack on you or something. But I don't wear those. And I also feel like my ankles got a lot stronger anyway, just from running around in my trail runners and running on the uneven terrain and that kind of stuff. And so your feet adapt and they get stronger, and then, you know, you don't necessarily need to have that extra support. But then I'm going to find out what happens when I put a pack on my back. Who knows what it's going to feel like at that point. And I'm moving a lot slower. So. Okay. All right. So one thing I wanted to share with you guys is that I was thrown into a workshop last week, and it was focused on this book, which is called It Takes What It Takes. And the person that was talking about it his name is Trevor Moawad, and he's the mindset coach for Russell Wilson and a whole bunch of other athletes, and he was talking about how to do mental conditioning, and it made me like, I got super excited about the whole conversation because it's different than mindfulness, different than meditation. It's not mental health. It's actually focusing in on doing activities that strengthen your mind. So I highly recommend that people check that out if they want to look at something, how to strengthen your mind. Because I feel like, well, at least for me, during the middle of this pandemic, I feel like I'm getting strained all the time. And I don't know what it all is either. It's hard to pinpoint sometimes for me. It's like I wake up and some days it's this, some days it's that. And I'm like, how come I'm feeling like this? And so I think the whole thing about it takes what it takes, it helped me come up with a new mantra actually. And I don't know if you guys, does anybody have a running mantra that they say to themselves when they're running right now? All right. So one thing that before you do your 5K, I would highly recommend that you research the running mantras that are out there. Maybe find something that resonates with you that you feel like, oh yeah, if I say that to myself while I'm running, then there you go. MJ says, I think about Dory from Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. There you go. Perfect. So running mantra, just keep swimming or run to the sun. There you go. So Sierra's asking a question, what is a mantra? So it's a short little phrase, maybe 1 word, 2 words, and something you would say repeatedly. Maybe something that helps you calm down, helps you through when it gets really rough, right? And you're running and you feel like, I'm gonna stop. And then what's the thing that you can say to yourself that will help you keep going? So the thing that I made up when I was for a new mantra for myself is, I'm made for this, or just short, made for this. And I tap into the things that I've already done, right? I'm just like, yeah, I've gone through a lot of hard shit in my life. And when I think back to it, it's like, yeah, I am absolutely made for this moment right now. So all the crap that's going on, yeah, I'm made for this. And I keep telling myself that over and over and over. And I even tried it while I was trail running last week. And I was going up this, I did a 4,000 vertical trail run, and it kicks my ass every single time I do it. It's just the most brutal run. It's like straight up this mountain. And most of the time I'm dropping F-bombs. And I tried something different. And I said, you know what? I'm going to tell myself I'm made for this, made for this, made for this. And I kept going up and up and up. And it was totally different than dropping the F-bomb, right? And, and inside the book, it's talking about negative talk, and then there's neutral talk, and then there's positive talk. Okay. So the negative talk, they said that whenever you use negative talk, the way it impacts you, it always is bad. Like nothing good has ever happened from negative talk. So 100% of the time, negative talk is negative result. So it's your language. It's what you're saying to yourself when you're doing these kinds of things, right? And then neutral talk is not necessarily, how would you describe it? It's not that you're gonna have a certain result by saying this word. It's not like you're gonna win the race if you say, I'm gonna win, right? Because there's like, no, there could be a lot of people in front of you and they're faster than you, and like, nah, that's not true. Okay. And positive talk is unrealistic sometimes, right? So there's some people that say positivity isn't necessarily going to create the results that you're looking for. It might be setting yourself up for something the completely opposite of that, right? You can't positive talk yourself into having great results consistently. Like that's not, there's no science behind that says every time you do positive talk, it's going to help you. But they said neutral talk will actually help you. Okay. So that's why I'm made for this. Doesn't guarantee that I'm going to make it all the way up to the top of the mountain, but it is going to tell me I can move forward from here to here. Okay. Or I can make it to the next tree, or I'm going to draw a line in the sand and I'm going to say I can move from this spot to that spot, right? There's nothing positive about it. It's just, no, I'm going to carry my foot forward another foot, okay? And I'm going to keep doing that. So anyway, I found the book to be fantastic. You might want to check it out if you want to look at some of the kind of mental conditioning and hear some really great stories too. Questions around that stuff? All right. So let's see here. Kate says, also from week 1, your idea to thank your heart. I do that all the time now. It's amazing. Cool. So that's definitely mindfulness in allowing you to tap into your body and just connect with it and have that kind of mind-body connection in the same space at the same time. And your mind's not somewhere super far away. It's not thinking about work. It's not thinking about how to solve a problem. It's like, no, I'm right here. And inside my body, my heart is beating and it's helping me keep going. And I'm thankful for that. So I do that all the time too. All right. So we got a couple more minutes. And does anybody have any questions or things that they want to chat about? Something that they're struggling with while they're running or thinking about before they do a 5K next week? Has anybody run a 5K before? Ooh, this is awesome. Not fully. Okay. Well, so I think I never ran any kind of race. Okay. Wow. This is awesome. So this will be like a first time for a lot of you guys to do a race and also go do a 5K. So that's awesome. So I think you guys should be really excited about where you're at right now. You guys put in a ton of effort for 7 weeks and, getting yourselves to the spot. So Kathy says I've walked a marathon and another. All right. Awesome. That's a long ways to walk. Oh boy, that's a really long way. That's like a 10-hour walk. 8 hours. There you go. Yeah, that's a long time to be on your feet. Yeah. So anyway, I think it's really awesome to have watched you guys kind of put in that effort over the last 7 weeks and get yourselves to the spot. And you guys should feel really good about what you're doing and just building up the muscles and getting yourselves to run at conversation pace. And it's not about how fast we're going to run this 5K. It's just about the fact that we've got ourselves to the spot right here and now we get to go do it. Awesome. All right. Okay, well, I think we are done for this week. Next week, I will talk a little bit about race preparation, how to get your mind and how to get yourself set up. And I'm going to walk you through some of the things that I do before a race and the week of the race. And, you guys have put in a lot of effort into something. So you think about how to keep yourself from getting injured, from getting sick. You want to go out there and you want to go do this race, and then this race is going to be the benchmark for your 5K. This is the thing that allows you to say, this is my time for when I run a 5K, right? So that we get to see what that number is going to be. And then we get to work from there. So All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great week. Let me know how those 6 by 30-second strides go. I will email everything out to you guys in a little bit here. And let's see here. Maybe in the future would like to know if there are any tips for running uphill. Ooh, you're getting all these advanced things, MJ. All right. We'll definitely touch on those too. Yeah, I definitely like running in the mountains more than the roads. There's definitely a lot more interesting things to look at. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. See ya later.